last episode was more hype, but this episode, it finally happened. The moment we've all been waiting for finally happened. Aemond is king. Aemond is king. But before we get into that, let's go back to the beginning of this episode because there's a few things I want to touch on. Criston Cole is marching through the city with his men, and what they are dragging behind them is the head of Rhaenys's dragon. And you would think like this is a crazy victory. They're dragging a head of a dragon around town, proclaiming, we just killed a dragon. Our team is the victor here, right? But people are not taking it that way. Nobody's used to seeing the head of a dragon being dragged around. They look at the dragon as some type of godlike figure, It's like it's untouchable. And to see them being dragged around is a bad omen. So something is not right. Something is going wrong, right? There's warring going on. We have dragons who are dying because the way it felt was like dragons transcend all of this human squabble. Okay, so now that a dragon is dead, things are bad, and that leads to a strategy that Rhaenyra is going to implement. That it looks like she's going to implement. They were talking about it, and I feel like it is the best way to go about things because now the people are weary of Team Green. Will they turn to Team Black? They will see, hey, look, we had 80 years of peace with Viserys. Should we not show our allegiance to his true heir, to his daughter, to Rhaenyra, to Team Black, So they're going to try and, I feel like Rhaenyra and her team are going to try and create this populist movement around her and inject her as the rightful heir to the throne. If they, there's multiple ways to win a war. They can use the masses to their advantage, which I find interesting because now we have a war on 3 different fronts because we know Daemon is building an army. Will he really give that army over to Rhaenyra, or will he use it for himself because he is gunning for the throne himself? And Rhaenyra is, I keep saying Rhaenyra, but it's Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is using this populist movement, but she will need men amongst her as well to fight. So she's definitely banking on what Daemon is doing. And then you have Aemond, who's got the King's Guard, who's got the proper army and all that stuff, and they've got dragons, including Vhagar, which Team Black is having a trouble coming up with an answer to. So already the current standing of things, it's way more interesting. I talked about this in the last episode. Aemond versus Daemon, just that alone is going to be so good. It's even Daemon recognizes Aemond. He even threw a line in there recognizing Aemond as somebody you're not going to want to mess with, someone you don't want to get on his bad side. Okay, and if Aemond is king, I don't think Daemon knows yet, but once Daemon realizes Aemond is king, things are about to get insane. But since we're on the topic of Daemon, I want to talk about him more because I really do want to talk about Alicent. But let's go with Daemon for right now. Daemon has been getting a whole bunch more hallucinations. He hallucinated his mom, and the situation with his mom was a bit odd. I don't know if that actually occurred in real life or if he was just dreaming it, because apparently he didn't know his mom. So I'm not entirely sure how that went down. Maybe it was just another way of him wanting to feel love, and he wants it from his mom, and because he didn't get it from his brother, or so he's thinking, because his brother chose his daughter Rhaenyra instead of him. So he's just trying to find love, and love can manifest in different ways, and it just got mingled in his hallucination. At least that's how I'm rationalizing it. But then again, they're Targaryens, and incest is prevalent in the Targaryens, so who knows, man. But anyway, so Daemon is having these hallucinations, and it's pathetic the way Daemon is handling things. I mean, I did like the fact that he had his priorities straight when he was trying to muster men for his ground army, because he was like, I need men who are willing to be burned to a crisp for what they believe in, or something to that effect, right? So he wants men with character and loyalty. And so, I mean, I thought that scene was cool. When the Starks came in and they woke him from his sleep, how his first interaction with them, I thought that was cool. But the overall thing, he's like, hey, call me king. I'm king. I took over you guys. You better call me king. Like, he wants to be king so bad, and it's a hall of like 6 people. You know, it's like he's role playing at this point. So it comes off as a bit weak. However, once he makes a formal challenge to the throne, that's when things are going to go down, and I feel like that's when Daemon will really shine. Okay, let's move over to Alicent, because with Alicent I can talk about Aemond too. She's getting annoying. In this episode. It's like the stance she's taking. It's like she's grasping for control and for some sense of security here. Now that Aegon is not the king, she feels, I don't think threatened is the right word, but she doesn't have the sense of security and control as she had before, because now you have somebody on the throne who knows what they're doing, who actually can, I don't want to say who actually can think, but who has a direction and has a focus in what they want to do. Because with Aegon, he didn't know what he wanted to do. I mean, he did know what he wanted to do, but it was on impulse. There was no foundation there, because he didn't understand. He didn't want to be king in the first place. He didn't want the responsibility, and he didn't have the expertise. Because he didn't want to be king, he never bothered to learn anything. So Aegon, it was like an empty throne essentially, and Alicent treated him that way. While Aegon was alive and well, I mean, he is still alive, but when Aegon was walking around and well, Alicent treated him like useless, like he was useless, like nothing. Okay, remember that conversation in the last episode at the table? Do nothing. She pretty much said, sit there, do nothing, because you can't do anything. You're a loser. You don't know anything. Just sit there and be quiet. So she exercised a level of control over him. Okay? She can't do that with Aemond. So she had a sense of security with Aegon as king, because Aegon was not going to do anything to her. She could say whatever she wanted. Aegon's not going to do anything because he doesn't know anything. He needs people like her around. And obviously that's her mom. Aemond, on the other hand, just might have, well, she doesn't know for sure, might have tried to kill his brother because he wants power and he's got the throne now. So Alicent is threatened for her life because she's unsure of what Aemond could do, and she doesn't have a sense of security. She's not needed anymore. And the thing is, dude, at that council, everybody was like, "Yo, I want Aemond on the throne. I want Aemond on the throne. We need to show that we're strong. We're in a position of strength. We need Aemond on there because everybody knows Aemond's a beast." Okay, so Aemond's on the throne, man, dude. That scene was awesome, right? Everybody says, "Yeah, we need him on the throne. Yeah, I want him on the throne. Right? He's the rightful heir to the throne. Put him on there." So Aemond's like, "All right, it's settled." Doesn't even wait for Alicent's approval, for his mom's approval. He just gets up, picks the ball, looks at Alicent dead in the face, and then walks and sits down at the head of the council, and immediately takes lead. Immediately starts playing the role of king. Immediately. He wasn't like Aegon. We're like, all right, what do we do? What are we talking about? What are we doing here? He was like, no, I'm directing this table. I'm controlling the flow of conversation. So see what I mean? Like, dude, that's why Alicent is scared. And so you hear like the conversation muffled in the background, and Alicent just sitting there, sinking into her chair because she realizes, she understands she's not needed anymore. But the dumbest thing was when Alicent was making her argument as to why she should be the queen, why she should take over after Aegon and not Aemond. And she did have a fair point in the fact that Aemond is a very skilled dragon rider. We need him out there on the field. I have expertise. I've been doing this for a while. You know, I've been here in this council for a while, much longer than Aemond. So, through my experience, let me lead. Let Aemond fight, which does make sense. Okay, but she threw a jab at Aemond, and she was like, I mean, look at this kid. He's young. He's inexperienced. He has no restraint, and look where that led things. And the camera pans right over to Kristen Cole. Dude, lady, you show no restraint either. The man Kristen Cole is sitting right there. Are you showing any restraint with him? Yeah, no, I don't think so. So, I mean, it literally just all blew in her face. And there was a scene nearing the end of the episode. She's sitting by Aegon's bedside. She doesn't feel sorry for him. She's not crying over the fact that her son is burned. When he was alive and well, you called him useless. You didn't care for him. You weren't a mother. You didn't act like a mother to him. You're sad because because now you're insecure. You have no control. You're scared. It's the same exact reason why she sleeps with Kristen Cole. It gives her a sense of security and control. That's why she shows affection to Kristen Cole. That's why she shows affection. Now she's showing affection to Aegon. It's just people that she can control, and it gives her some sense of security. It's messed up. It's messed up. And she can't do that to Aemond, so she's scared. I don't feel sorry for her, man. I don't feel sorry for her. I forgot who she was talking to, but she was talking to somebody about Aemond, and she said, I mean, you know who he is. You know what he is. Kind of like vilifying her own son. So, I mean, she can't pretend like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm crying, I'm sad, Aegon is in this state. No, she's just scared for herself. She's not worried about Aegon in any way. Maybe a little bit. But it's literally all her own. She doesn't have that sense of security anymore. I didn't even mention one of the first things Aemond does once he's named king. He says, "Cut the rat catchers down." I didn't even know those people were still hanging. See how useless the previous administration was. Those rat catchers were still hanging out there. I didn't even know they were still hanging out there. But yeah, he said, "Cut them down." Already. The reign of Aemond is superior. Is superior. There was a scene with Jace and Rhaenyra at the end of the episode. Rhaenyra is a much better mother than Alicent, by the way. She's actually being a mother. She's actually being protective and caring over her children. But there's an issue, right? Aemond has Vhagar, okay? And Team Black has no answer to that. They would have an answer if they had more dragon riders, because they have 2 dragons underneath their keep, but there's no riders. They don't have enough people with dragon blood to ride. So this scene was just cool, man. Just the way Jace spoke, the way he stepped up. You know, this man has a future. I'm curious to see how things play out with them. Jace versus Aemond. That's another interaction that would be real. I'll be real curious to see. So what he suggests is, let's look beyond our walls. Let's look at Targaryens who have married into other houses, and maybe we can bring them to ride with us. The blood might be thin, but it might work. And Rhaenyra respected that. I thought that was cool. The way he said it, the way that scene flowed, it was cool, man. It was cool. I like that. And I'm really curious as to what these 2 dragons look like, how big they are, because they're not young dragons, right? These are going to be full-fledged dragons. So to wrap it up, as I said, it wasn't as hype as last episode, not as much action, but there were a good amount of things that did happen in this episode, man. I mean, Aemond is king. That's an event in and of itself, right there. There was actually a scene with him walking into the throne room, and he's facing the throne, and the shots are just cool. The way the light hits his face, and you can see the shadows of his cheeks and the jaw, and then the eye. They look cool, man. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to handle being on the throne, and how everyone is going to react once the news gets out, because it did reach Rhaenyra. I'm curious to see how Daemon is going to react and how the rest of the people are going to react. It's going to It's gonna be cool, man. All right, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I thought the episode was good. Let me know yours, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.